and it's a pleasure for me as commissioner to give LeBron James the 2009-10 NBA MVP.
Came up empty in field goals in the first half for the first time since game one of the 2007 finals. Here's LeBron James. LeBron now 1 for 9 from the field and has only 10 points.
He's choking.
And 6 on the shot clock, and James badly misses it.
We broke LeBron.
In game 5.
So get your ass out of here with that, all right? You understand how you got the Cleveland, how you got the Miami Bill?
Worst home playoff loss in Cavaliers history, and it's the Boston Celtics who will take a 3-2 lead.
And Cleveland fans wondering if that's the last time he'll take off a Cavalier jersey.
The next day.
In this fall, I'm going to take my talents to South Beach and join the Miami Heat.
Coward.
When it comes to the career of one LeBron James, him having played 23 years now, there's a large portion of his fan base who doesn't know LeBron James pre his Miami Heat days. And looking at his first day in Cleveland, those days are kind of forgotten and swept under the rug. As you ask the majority of his fan base what happened in that stint, those of LeBron's teams were good enough, the GM didn't do enough, his sidekick wasn't averaging 30, and his role players vanished every single postseason. Now, if you watch LeBron live during that stint, or go back and watch the games, this overall notion he had no help, the team was absolute garbage, is simply not true. As looking at those flameouts, one of the Cavs' big-time problems with LeBron James, their superstar, their alpha, had big holes in his game, primarily his outside shot and his non-existent mid-range game.
And have the pace going in their way, and James short with it.
Of this game, they have got to get this team off Williams back onto Rondo soon enough. Rondo took advantage of it.
And here's LeBron missing again.
For the overall Cleveland first stint narrative, it's totally rewritten and the failures are largely memory hold. As look at LeBron's flameouts, I mean they're pretty epic. The 07 Finals, an absolute choke job, he was all-time terrible. The next year, 08 vs. Boston, he just had a Game 7, but games 1 through 6 was very, very shaky. Then looking at 09, their first big-time disappointment, LeBron James let Cleveland down. As looking at that team versus Orlando, the heavy favorites to beat them and waltz their way to the NBA Finals. As looking at the ESPN experts, every single one of them had Cleveland playing LA in the Finals. But of course, in the end, what happened? Game 6 versus Orlando, got embarrassed, LeBron flamed out, and walked off the court in shame. Now fast forward 2010, almost the identical same story, this time versus the Boston Celtics. As looking at this series, Cleveland versus Boston, a rematch of 08. This time Cleveland definitively was the heavy favorite. As once again looking at those experts, 10 out of 10 bet Cleveland to win the series outright.
But people are forgetting the supporting cast. Antoine Jamison can hurt you in a number of ways. On the post, being able to score at awkward and weird angles, and stretching the floor with that three-point shooting. And Mo Williams, 4 regular season matchups with the Celtics, stretching the floor 55% from beyond the arc. Well, you talk about Danny Ferry surrounding LeBron James with some of the best players in the world, goes out in the offseason and brings Shaquille O'Neal in. But to me, I think the bigger pickup this offseason was Anthony Parker, a player at that 6'6", 6'7" range, being able to guard the bigger defenders. That, to me, that was the problem.
If you were an NBA fan back in 2010, looking at Cleveland's overall roster talent on paper, compared to the Celtics, they're the better overall team. Boston's name value, having Pierce, Garnett, Ray Allen, Hall of Fame pedigree, all-time legends. But looking at them in 2010, I mean, they were kind of aging out, exiting their prime. LeBron's team, LeBron's squad, the majority of those players were in their prime and ready to win championships. And look at their overall roster, for the second straight year, won 60 games, and were a top 2 net rated team. And here's the big time additions. Antoine Jamison, a 24-game scorer who they stole in a trade. Shaquille O'Neal, who in 09 was 3rd team All-NBA, and also Anthony Parker, a solid 3-and-D player. In addition to that, Emerson Varejao, a very solid backup big, J.J. Hickson, Big Z, and 3 separate players above 40% from deep, hitting Boobie Gibson, Mo Williams, and of course, Anthony Parker. If you were a GM in 2010, building a supporting cast of LeBron James, that right there is exactly how you build it. You have Mo Williams, an off-ball guard who can score, doesn't really need the ball, some nice 3-and-D players, shooters, and solid big men who can lock down the paint. So long story short, this series, the pressure's on Cleveland to beat Boston and advance to the NBA Finals. And looking at LeBron James, when there's pressure expectations, the majority of times he does falter. And prior to the series was one of the big-time narrative talking points league-wide. LeBron's elbow injury, the mysterious elbow injury that popped up one day and the next day was non-existent.
Nobody within the organization that I've talked with was all that concerned. I was told that no one was really on pins and needles waiting for news on LeBron James, that everybody pretty well felt that this wasn't going to be anything real serious. The big question is still sort of how this started and when it was injured, which LeBron James has said he does not know.
When we were making our run here in Cleveland, my first stint, it was just I couldn't shoot the ball, I couldn't extend the ball, and I don't know where it came from. Right after the season, it went away.
Well, isn't that convenient for you?
So looking at Game 1, Cleveland vs. Boston in Cleveland, the Cavaliers at this point were the favorites, supposed to win Game 1 and handle business. And looking at the first half, the Celtics, largely dominated the half and got whatever they wanted. I was looking at Rondo, a near 20-point double-double at the break. And of course the Celtics up by double digits. This first half for Cleveland was absolutely disastrous, as off rip, they were choking and folding. Now, fast forward to the third quarter, momentum shifted. I was looking at Mo Williams, absolutely exploded, had 14 points, a game high, 2 dimes on very effective shooting. And looking at Cleveland's team, absurd shooting at 65%. In the third quarter, outscored Boston by 12.
13 points, 63% from the field, and 9 rebounds.
Mo Williams on the drive. And Garnett on the front line. Rondo and Allen in the backcourt. Bad pass that time from Rondo. Here comes Williams. Mo Williams going all the way and stuffs.
That was a sneak dunk there by Mo Williams.
Parker breaks it up. Williams, yes. And Garnett. Boston is up 71-62. Here's Williams. Yes. Just under 4 left in the third. Williams, yes!
Period has been Mo Better Blues. Up for his first dunk ever for the Cavaliers. Step back jumper, and then let me get into the lane with my little floater, and then off the pick and roll situation, knocking down the dagger.
That right there, Mo Williams, was a crucial third quarter burst that gave Cleveland all the momentum in the fourth quarter. And LeBron's credit in the fourth quarter, he played very, very well, having 12 points, a game high. And looking at the entire second half, Cleveland's big three no doubt showed up, as LeBron James had 21 points, good efficiency, Mo Williams 16, and Shaquille O'Neal had 10. Looking at Boston's big three, Boston's entire team, they didn't have one single player in the second half who cracked double figures. I was looking at Rondo, KG, and Pierce, largely shut down and were ineffective. And that's one thing I do want to highlight, this Game 1 being a tale of two halves. Boston in the first half, they were rolling on fire. The second half, ice cold, historically bad, as in the half, had 39 points on 35% shooting. Now those two numbers, very, very important. Looking at Boston's entire run, their worst second half totals, that right there is tied to the second worst with Game 7 versus the Lakers in the NBA Finals. And looking at shooting percentage at 35%, also second worst, only had a one Lakers game in the NBA Finals. Long story short, looking at Cleveland's defense, in Game 1, they were lights out, and offensively, had everything going. So right now, up 1-0, handle business, and for Game 2, trying to continue the exact same trends. And look at the first quarter of Game 2, kind of like Game 1, a very, very slow start. As LeBron from the jump, 1 of 4 shooting, then a made field goal the final 30 seconds of the quarter. And despite that, Cleveland only down by 4 points. That right there is a big time win, LeBron's supporting cast no doubt stepping up. And speaking of the supporting cast, LeBron finally went to the bench, the lead didn't grow by that much. As LeBron left, it was only 4 points, and when he came back, it was immediately 6. So once again, this Cavs team's depth, their bench, could hold on versus Celtics and a great team in the NBA. And look at the halftime scores, point totals. Rasheed Wallace for the Celtics, 13 points, the leader. Second place, Jamison. Third, Ray Allen. Tied for fourth, Verja, Rondo, LeBron James. Fifth, Paul Pierce. Sixth, Shaq. And seventh, Anthony Parker. This right here in Game 2 is a very, very balanced attack. And look at LeBron James, at this point kind of a jag, just one of the guys.
Rebounded by O'Neal. Nice pass to James. Shot clock to 5. The shot by LeBron is way short.
Yeah, if you're Paul Pierce, you'll live with that.
Yeah, on your part for the elbow.
Yeah,
A flagrant.
I had a flashback. I thought you were Michael Jordan, and, you know, I had to flex up a little.
With his second bucket, hit a baseline jumper and the three.
No, LeBron has a lot of help. You know, he was out the game when they made their run. When Mo Williams started pushing the ball, that's when they made their run. LeBron was on the bench for like the first 6 or 7 minutes. They were down like 12, 13 points, and they got it all the way down to 4.
It was a 13-point game, 17-5 run, made it a 1-point game, 40-39, but it is 52-48.
Now, once again, look at the third quarter, much like Game 1, a pivotal quarter and period that swung the entire game. But unfortunately, Cavaliers fans, unlike Game 1, you were ice cold, and Boston was on fire. As in this game, Mo Williams couldn't hit a shot, LeBron was pitiful, having 4 points, 3 turnovers, and Cleveland's team in total only had 12 points. By the end of the third quarter, this Cavaliers team would have an absurd 23 points. And look at LeBron James, his production on his MVP night, it was pitiful. 12 points, 4 turnovers, 4-9 shooting, and from line was subpar. LeBron in this fourth quarter was a team worst -19.
13. Here is James. 9-point Celtic lead. James for 3.
Hell no!
Once again, Allen defending on James with some help. See Pierce coming over and lost had the step. James throws it away. Remember, blew that huge lead in the final regular season game to Cleveland. Once again, LeBron turns it over. For the Celtics in the third quarter, the Cavaliers with only 12 points. They shoot 5 for 16 from the field.
It's over. We are screwed. So looking at the numbers, I mean, we've seen worse numbers, more horrific numbers, less points, more turnovers, worse shooting. But watching the actual game film, it's pretty bad. As for the first 3 quarters, clearly going through the motions and kind of out of it. And the fourth quarter down by 20, I mean, LeBron finally got aggressive, starting shooting jump shots. But at this point, the game's over, out of reach, and Boston dominated and cruised to a Game 2 victory. So looking at the series now, it's 1-1 go back to Boston in a 1 series. Now, for Game 3 in Boston, LeBron James finally flipped that switch, went to kill mode, and was hyper-aggressive from the jump. As looking at LeBron in the first quarter, just the first quarter, amassed 21 points, 8 of 10 shooting, and from the line was perfect. And his plus-minus, a +19, this time a team high, and he was playing phenomenal basketball.
Shoots over Pierce and gets it. Jamison plays behind because he just doesn't have the length. The key there, and obviously he had the windup. James, that's a 2-pointer, and knocks it down. Foul trouble early for both Perkins and Garnett. James again, ball knocked away. James to Moon. Moon to James, throws it down. He outscored the Celtics all by himself in the first quarter. Also had 4 rebounds.
So for Game 3 in Boston, not much to talk about. It was an absolute beatdown shellacking the Celtics never saw coming. And again, give LeBron tons of credit. He was in alpha kill mode from the moment the ball got tipped up. Now look at the Boston side of things, this 29-point beatdown. Out of the entire Big 3 era the first 3 years, 08 to 2010, this right here was their worst loss ever, it was by 29 points, and their worst home loss on top of that. And looking at their most points allowed, that same stretch, 08 to 2010, this ranks second all time, behind Game 6 for Chicago in 2010, a triple OT game. And the cherry on top, looking at the Cavs field percentage, it was a ridiculous 59.5%. In the entire Big 3 era, 08-2010, that mark right there for an opponent was the highest during this stretch.
No, absolutely. You can get fooled into thinking it was a one-man band. It was an absolute group effort. When you talk about LeBron James, obviously the numbers were spectacular, but the other guys stepped up and made life so much easier for LeBron.
So right now at this point in the series, Cleveland up 2-1, in control of the series, they're in the driver's seat. And looking at LeBron's play, despite that phantom elbow injury, playing extremely well. And how he was playing, he was hitting some jump shots, but getting paint buckets, dunks, shots at the rim. And looking at his averages, 32.3 points, 6 dimes, under 3 turnovers on pretty phenomenal shooting splits. LeBron out of the first 3 games had 2 games taking 35 points. And besides Game 2, the majority of the series looked like himself, typical LeBron James, 2010 LeBron James. And why I highlight that is pretty obvious. As post-Game 3, something flipped, something changed, and LeBron James became a shell of himself. As looking at Game 4, a pretty pitiful showing. As Boston from the jump went up 8-0, LeBron in the first half, again playing passive, and Boston was a clear aggressor, up by nearly 10 points at the break. If you're a Cavs fan right now looking at LeBron James, you're saying he's saving energy building up for a big-time second-half push. Well, unfortunately for you in the third quarter, that did not happen, as LeBron in total only had 4 points, 3 turnovers, and the rest of the Cavaliers were carrying his dead weight.
Williams gets inside. Good ball movement. It's an open look. Parker puts it in. Williams again. Nice penetration, just like you said, Mark. James.
You stink.
Nice pass. Perkins. Jamison strips him of the ball. Shaq running the floor and lays it in. Take advantage. Williams fires a 3. Answers back. James drives inside. Stolen by one. Third quarter, Cavs trying to take a 3-1 lead in the series. Tony Allen bumps James. Stolen by Davis. Ahead to Rondo. Rondo one. And the beat swoops back to Allen. Credit pass. And the finish.
This right here for the supporting cast narrative debunks it pretty thoroughly. As looking at LeBron's play, it was piss poor and garbage. But despite the Cavaliers, we're still in this game. And look at the fourth quarter, what happened off the jump. Boston 10-0 run just like that, pushed the lead to 12 points, and never looked back.
This presentation of the NBA playoffs on ABC will continue after this message.
A few moments later.
James to Vergel, bad pass. That's his 7th turnover. Tony Allen to the basket.
Boy, that escalated quickly.
Looking at that fourth quarter for LeBron James, it was downright bizarre. As in total had 5 points, 2 of 7 shooting, 0-2 from deep with 1 turnover, and was a -8. In the final 5 minutes in clutch time, went 0-3, couldn't hit anything. If you compare LeBron this fourth quarter in Game 4 versus first quarter LeBron in Game 3, it's 2 completely different players. So why did that switch? What changed? Honestly, have no idea. And looking at Game 4, really post the first quarter, LeBron was anemic and an absolute no-show, and I'd argue a net negative, as in total had 14 points, 6 turnovers, 5 of 13 shooting, 0 from deep, and for the line was typical LeBron James.
The problem was he wasn't able to finish the leg. James short on that free throw.
Now, for Cavs fans right now being tied 2-2, it's not the end of the world. You have home court advantage MVP, in your mind, the best player in the world. And what you're going back to is a home court advantage that on this season was pretty immense, as Cleveland's record at home were 35-6, the best in the NBA. So Game 5, a must-win game, the biggest game of LeBron's career, and for the Cavaliers, a pivotal moment in this series. So look at the first quarter, what happens, how does LeBron come out? Is he in kill mode or aggressive mode? Well, no. The Cavs the first quarter down 13-6, and LeBron the first 10 minutes did not take a single shot. This right here from LeBron is him quitting and packing it in. But here's the funny thing. Despite 10 minutes of nothing, Cleveland in the first quarter up by 3 points. If LeBron truly had no help, his team sucked, this could not be happening. As even looking at the second quarter, Boston a 15-0 run, they exploded, but Cleveland time and time again responded, fought back, clawed back to make it a game. And at halftime, a 6-point ball game, a toss-up, anyone could win. And look at LeBron's stat line at halftime. Point total, 8, not great, but from the field, 0 for 4. LeBron the entire first half had 0 made field goals. I'll repeat that, 0 made field goals in the biggest half of the season. If you're a back-to-back MVP to alpha your team, I'd rather you go 0 for 12 than 0 for 4. As seeing that stat line, once shows to everyone is you're not aggressive, you're out of the game. LeBron in Game 5 was completely checked out mentally. The guys carrying him, the second, third, fourth options, they're role players, trash guys who supposedly were no good.
Pierce is guarding James, and LeBron defensively in this series. And here's LeBron losing the ball momentarily and forcing the shot up.
Well, 20 points there in game number 3, okay? 8 of 10 field goals. In game 4, just 8 points. And now tonight, you see no points.
In the first half, Boston is up by 6. What's LeBron up to? He's got 8 points and 5 rebounds and 5 assists, but he is 0 for 4 from the floor. Charles?
LeBron does not have to dominate every night. Mo Williams, Jameson's out there, Parker's out there, Delonte West.
On the other end of the floor, LeBron James had his supporting cast. He was very content in getting people involved. Jameson with the spot, Shaq with the easy finish there. Mo Williams feeling it early in transition. And then the hustle plays of Anderson Varejao, which he's there all the time, giving that energy to the Cleveland Cavaliers.
LeBron has 8 points, all from the line, 0 for 4 from the field.
That right there for the Cavs supporting cast, their role players, is them doing their job. So in the third quarter, LeBron James, how do you repay them for that hard work, keeping him in the game? Well, he didn't do much. This guy in the third quarter started 0 for 3, didn't make his first basket to the 6-18 mark. The so-called MVP best player in the world, the GOAT, didn't make a basket for nearly 30 minutes of game time. Again, that right there is unacceptable. And look at Cleveland's team. When the role players did their job, held them off for as long as possible. But playing this Boston team, at some point the Avalanche is just too much to handle. As late in the fourth quarter, Cleveland ended the fourth quarter down by 17. And look at LeBron's numbers, through 3 quarters, just pitiful numbers, abysmal numbers. 12 points, 2 turnovers, 2 of 11 shooting, all 4 from deep, and was a minus 13. In the fourth quarter, it got ugly pretty quickly.
But then there was this moment in the third quarter after Allen hit the threes, and the crowd clammed up and got scared. And all of a sudden, I think everybody had the same realization, like, oh my God, are we watching LeBron James's last Cleveland home game? Could you feel that in the stadium?
Absolutely, without question.
They had to go through the next change, and that was the emergence of Rondo into an all-star, shooting just 32%. And then Ray Allen has been magnificent.
Ball knocked away. Perfect scenario for Boston as they look to take the 3-2 lead. 28, the Celtics in front. Nearly 4.5 minutes remaining in a somber Quicken Loans arena as LeBron James with a 3 for 14 shooting night.
What did you just say?
With a 3 for 14 shooting night. It's 15 points, his 4th lowest in a 70-game playoff career.
This right here from LeBron in Game 5 is absolutely rock bottom. And looking at his entire career, 2011 included, in my personal opinion, the worst game of his career. As unlike 2011 LeBron James, this year in 2010 was a back-to-back MVP. And where was this game at? It was in the Q in Cleveland on their home floor. This wasn't on the road hostile territory, this was in your backyard, you gotta show up. And what happened? An absolute dud, you lost by 32 points. At that point in Cavs history, their second worst loss all time. This right here from LeBron James was a massive dud. Look at his scoreboard, his attitude, and of course, the overall stats. As LeBron in total had 15 points, 3 turnovers, 3 of 14 shooting, all 4 from deep, and was a minus 22. And like I said earlier, didn't make his first field goal till 30 minutes into the game. This compared to the 8-point dud in 2011, in my opinion, is actually worse. And look at LeBron's supporting cast, who was the best player in this game. Shaquille O'Neal in 15 minutes less had 21 points on 64% shooting. That right there is LeBron James, peak LeBron James, being outplayed by washed Shaquille O'Neal.
But it was so baffling to see it. And, you know, we're all over the place now. In the NBA, when you do radio, sometimes you're way up high in the building, sometimes you're in the corner, sometimes you're courtside. But in Cleveland, we're sitting there courtside, so you're able to see the expression on the faces. I've never seen the look on LeBron's face like I saw last night up close. And while everyone is talking about panic and all these other things, to me, he looked like a guy last night that showed up for the test, for the final exam. And when he looked down at the paper, the questions, he hadn't studied for those.
That right there in isolation for the so-called best player in the world is pretty embarrassing. But compared to Michael Jordan, it's 10 times worse. As look at LeBron's Game 5, he shot a pitiful 21.4%. For some context, Michael Jordan, his pre-championship days, didn't have one single game under 30% shooting. LeBron James had not one, not two, not three, 4, or 5, but 6 games under 30% shooting in a 5-year period. That right there is some very important context. And yes, Jordan, had bad shooting games, had off nights. But compared to LeBron James, this guy was basically flawless. And again, look at Game 5 versus Boston, scoring 15 points. That for Jordan's playoff career, 180 plus games, is absolute lowest, for an 89, scored 15 versus the Knicks. LeBron in a 5-year period matched Jordan's career low, exceeded it 4 separate times. This game versus Boston, also versus the Spurs, Boston again, and 07 versus the Pistons. And looking at those games, what makes it even worse? Not only worst scoring games Jordan ever had, but from the field was an absolute brick. 2010, 21.4%, 07, 25%, 08, 11%, and 07 in the low 30s. So again, that combo of a low outpoint point total combined with poor shooting, and Michael Jordan's career is something he didn't experience nearly as much as LeBron James.
Rondo's been the best player in this series.
Yep.
Hands down, not an argument.
That was after Game 4, with a huge game for Rondo and LeBron being pretty ordinary and committing all his turnovers. It was at the point that it was pretty close. But now after Game 5, there's no question that, we always say the best player in the series that's the team that's going to win, and everyone just assumed that they had the best player in the series, and they haven't through 5 games, which is why it's 3-2.
It's not complicated.
Now, for this Cavs team in Game 6, a do-or-die game, you got to go balls to the wall and leave it all on the floor. And look at the first half, it was competitive, Cleveland was trying, but LeBron at various points was kind of giving up, and so a 10-minute stretch, once again, had 0 made field goals. That for LeBron in Game 5 and Game 6, the biggest glowing sign, he quit and gave up. But here's the thing, once again. Despite a mad LeBron half, 12 points, 4 turnovers, 4-12 shooting, Cleveland had the break very much in this game. And looking at Mo Williams' right-hand man, the first half was brilliant. In half, had 20 points, 70% shooting, and was balling.
The European step. Mo Williams to Verja. Mo Williams gets to the basket again. I'm just saying. Allen, Perkins stolen by Williams. Mo Williams drives, puts it up, and banks it in 3 times. Yes, he did. Misses. Perkins battling, ball loose, picked up by Mo Williams. Williams on the drive, inside. James up top. Oh, nice fake. Mo Williams nails the jumper. Mo Williams, what a first half. He's got 20 points.
But let's give him the benefit of the doubt. Maybe he's saving his best for last in the last 2 minutes.
This could be the last game.
Well, we'll see.
So more aggressive, but still not quite sure as he should have been. That's why it's so important to have a mid-range jump shot in your arsenal, because the defense has to react to you. They can't raise up with a 6'8" guy when he starts to jump off that trampoline.
So once again, LeBron in the first half, kind of anemic, and his offensive game was very, very spotty. And look at the third quarter, up to the 4-minute mark, was pretty close, competitive, a nip-and-tuck game. But unfortunately, Cavs fans had a closest quarter, was pretty poor, as Boston on the stretch made more defensive plays, and offensively was a tad bit better. As looking at Cleveland's third quarter, the entire team total had 18 points. LeBron James had 3 turnovers on 1 for 4 shooting. This Cavs team through 3 quarters was playing so-so. Wasn't good, great, but also wasn't abysmally terrible. As looking at the fourth quarter, only down by 9 points, a comeback is still within reach. And look at LeBron James, again, the jump shot, the confidence was really not there. In the first 3 quarters, 17 points, 5 of 16 shooting, 0-1 from deep, wasn't even trying him, and his turnover count was at 7.
And this is where Cleveland has to show mental strength. It's not going great for him. No loose possessions. Pierce for 3. Puts it in. Williams misses. Verja tips it right to West. James. 3-pointer won't go.
Half-court defense after the free throw.
Under 3 to play. James goes for the steal. Pierce to Garnett. Wallace for 3. That's good.
A bad gamble by James and a great read by Pierce. An unselfish play by KG.
James pass. Another turnover. Pierce to Garnett. Pierce for three. Bang!
In this fall, I'm going to take my talents to South Beach.
That third quarter run by Boston right there, Cleveland not closing the quarter well, kind of did them in. As looking at the fourth quarter, showed some life, was never really serious. In LeBron's case, the final 9 minutes in total had one made field goal. And looking at that shot, kind of a conceded dunk, they let him have. LeBron in the fourth quarter, stats be damned, had a terrible quarter. And look at the Cavs team, their energy. Near the end of it, they packed it in, they quit. Do their leader, his body language, his energy, his effort. LeBron in this game on many levels completely failed. Production, energy, leadership, it was all there.
Jameson misses. This is just too tentative. This is not the LeBron James that we watched in a flip pass and a half-court set. If I'm Mike Brown, no, don't get frustrated with everybody else. This is on you.
Thank you! And of course, so much made about LeBron James first on the series and the team collapse. Are you stunned by the way it happened the last 3 games, Mark?
I'm absolutely stunned, and the reason why is because we witnessed a team that basically quit. A team that's full of life, full of energy, and had a great season. It didn't end in its proper way.
And I think for me, it was more the 2 home losses. Well, really, all 3 home games, to me, were below average.
For the entire 2010 season LeBron James, it was a complete and utter failure, as in back-to-back years, won 60-plus games, was the MVP, but failed to even make the NBA Finals. This right here in LeBron's journey was a moment he met adversity and had a choice to make. Option 1, stay put, go through the grind, eventually win a championship, or option 2, jump ship, get a ton of help, superstar help, and cheat your way to a championship. LeBron's loss in 2010 to Boston, that's terrible. Look at the aftermath, it's somehow even worse. As looking at LeBron's camp, moments after the game ended, they were playing stories, narratives here and there. Some claimed he was sedated, thrown the game, or even was injured with that mysterious elbow that nobody knows what happened.
What happened to that elbow injury? That's a great question. I didn't even think of that. How's your elbow, LeBron? How's your elbow that we watched you adjust the elbow pad for the whole playoffs, and you might need Tommy John? Is Miami worried about the elbow? Did they have doctors check it out?
Do I detect a note of sarcasm?
Are you kidding me? This baby is off the charts.
For a lot of the LeBron James fan base, they know him personally, they're in his camp, or just fans in general, what they do in losses is absolutely pathetic. And looking at 2010, it was the full gambit. And they go to excuse that elbow injury that till this day is very, very mysterious. And here's why I don't buy it. Look at LeBron in Game 3 in Boston. He was absolutely rolling, no signs of injury. When LeBron gets so-called injured is when he loses. And looking at how he plays outside shot, compared to other series, is typical LeBron James. The final 3 games, his jump shots, 6 for 32. The mid-range, 2 for 13. Threes, 2 for 13. Paint, non-restricted area, 1 for 7. And the field, 34%. If you'd followed LeBron's chokes, his duds, that right there is routine with him folding a series and giving it away. This right here for LeBron's career isn't some one-off that happened due to a mysterious elbow injury. This right here for LeBron James is simply who he is. And speaking of who he is, look at games 4 through 6, and they're up 2-1 series, a commanding lead. LeBron in those games, 21.3 points, 6.3 turnovers, 34% shooting, 18% from deep, for line, below average, and his plus-minus was a minus 37. LeBron in games 4 through 6 had a grand total of 18 made shots. The turnover count was at 19. That right there is a full-blown James Harden. And get this, LeBron Game 4, under 40% shooting. Game 5, the same thing, and Game 6, also under 40% shooting. In Michael Jordan's pre-title days, from the bad boy Pistons, the Celtics, and Cavaliers, great defensive teams, he never had 3 straight games, all under 40% shooting. LeBron vs. Boston in 2010 did just that. Compared to 08, it was the exact same thing. As for Boston that series, it was 2 for 18, 6 for 24, 5 of 16, and then 7 of 20. So once again, look at the numbers, LeBron James is not Jordan, and claiming he was injured, it's a one-off, that's simply not true. LeBron vs. Boston could not shoot, and the defense knew this in 08 as well as 2010.
A little bit indecisive, and right here on this situation, he's running into the defense, has nowhere really to go, and some of these things should just be stop, one dribble, pull-ups. catch, sweep through, attack the rim, one dribble pull-up. And that's the difference between him and a Kobe Bryant. Kobe Bryant has that mid-range jump shot, and we talked about that in the green room back there. That's the separation. And when you can knock down a pull-up jump shot and make the defense react to you, that's where it's at. Correct!
Now, one more thing I do want to hammer home, looking at LeBron's playoff duds in 09 and 2010. LeBron both those years was the NBA's MVP, and his team back-to-back years won 60-plus games. If you look through NBA history at 61 MVPs, there's a grand total of 37 of them. Out of those 37, only 12 of them have failed to make the NBA Finals. So basically, 1/3. But look at that list, who's the only player ever to do it multiple times in back-to-back seasons. That, of course, is LeBron Ramon James. And take it one step further. Look at MVP winners on a 60-win team that failed to make the conference finals. In league history, there's only 3 of them. LeBron 2010, Dirk 07, and Magic in 1990. If you're talking superstar player, MVP player, this right for LeBron James, one of the biggest chokes of all time. And unlike Magic, didn't have 5 rings at this point, and unlike Dirk, didn't stay put, grind through it, and eventually win a championship with the team that drafted him.
With all due respect, Master, is he not the chosen one?
So the prophecy says.
A prophecy that misread could have been.
And here's one thing I do want to highlight. If you're comparing LeBron James and Michael Jordan, that comparison on face value is not worth making. But if you're going to make it, here's one big time distinction. Michael 4 times in his career is the MVP on a 60-win team. And look at those seasons, how do they end? 91, championship. 92, championship. 96, championship. And 98, championship. And what will some losers say? We know Michael in those years had a ton of help, his teams were stacked. Well, looking at those teams, were they good teams, great teams? Of course they were. But looking at Jordan, when he had good or great teams, the majority of times he won, and won in dominant fashion. Looking at LeBron in 2010, he didn't come close to winning or meeting expectations. And look at the supporting cast. Supporting cast, at the very least, was decent, and I'd say above average, especially in the Eastern Conference. As looking at their ranks, margin of victory, they were 2nd, offensive rating 6th, defensive rating 7th, and overall net rating, the 2nd best team in the league. That right there is some very important context. This cast in offense and defense was a top 10 team, and net rating wise, the best team in the Eastern Conference. And again, compared to Jordan, highlight why LeBron James is not MJ. Michael in his career 6 times had a top 3 net rated team. And look at those years, take a wild guess, what happened when he had those teams? Title, 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 and title.
You know, it's all about winning championships and winning. You know, the stats that matter to me is the games that we win and the rings that you collect.
If you give Jordan help and adequate supporting cast, he's probably winning a championship close to 80% of the time. LeBron in his career does not even come close to that. As look at 09, the best net rated team, also Orlando Magic, with Kobe beaten 5. 2010, the 2nd best net rated team, what happened? Lost to a team that Kobe in the finals actually beat.
Checkmate.
If LeBron 2010 left Cleveland, went to Chicago, New York, you know, it would still sting. But going to South Beach with D-Wade and Chris Bosh, a loaded team. That right there is the coward's way out. Like we see over and over again, how LeBron leaves teams exactly that way. High and dry, no notice, to stack the deck and win titles elsewhere. As always, thank you guys for watching, hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you next time.